Well, good morning. Good morning. We are live from the top of the Freedom Tower in New York City, and we are fired up with Rich Malachy and special guest who needs no intro as per usual. There's a new podcast out right now with myself, Taz, and Josh Zolan. The Blue is the New White. We're chopping it up, so go to YouTube and check that out. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, fired up on a Friday morning with Josh Zolan.
Surprise!
Boom!
What's up, internet? As Rich would say.
I haven't said that in a while.
I know, man. Get back at it.
I got to do it. Can we do a vlog today?
Yeah.
Dang, and that's how Rich Malachy works.
It's like we just do things.
It's like I don't have anything else to do, on my list of things, but
Yeah.
So we're fired up on a Friday. Josh and I just had a brief conversation on some interesting things on how fun it is to run a business and how it's so glamorous in front of the cameras and how we make everything seem so beautiful and everything's rainbows and butterflies and we're frolicking through our offices and falling through the ceiling and we're very excited every day.
Hey, man, what do you mean? It's not like that?
No, it is.
Oh, okay. Cool. End the conversation. This has been fun.
That's it. So that's it for Fired Up, guys. We appreciate you watching. Let's talk to the people about what it really goes down when you're running a business and how we just talked about let's be vulnerable if you want for a minute. How I was down last night when I got home. Not depressed. It's not depression. It's just the mental energy suck that happens on some days that are tougher than others. I mean, what do you find in that realm?
Yeah, man. It's everybody puts entrepreneurship and kind of what we do on this pedestal, right? Like it's the pinnacle of success. Being able to oversee a company and the people and help with the growth and the development. And that's all great. It really is. And it's wildly rewarding. But yeah, I mean, there are days that it kicks your ass. I mean, up, down, and sideways, it really does because you're dealing with people and you're dealing with personalities. And this is the other side of it that, I don't think we talk about a lot or maybe even enough. But you're dealing with people. And everybody has their own perspective. Everybody has their own perception. Everybody has their own values and characteristics and lifestyles. And, you're trying to lead all of these people into a common vision. And that can be an energy suck sometimes. It really can, because especially when you're dealing with resolving conflicts and building a culture and, trying to get people to elevate themselves. Right. And yeah, man, it can kick your ass. And then you go home and it's just like you've got nothing left, which is incredibly hard when you have a family, too. I'm sure a lot of the viewers and listeners out there will completely understand this because, you use all that energy during the day and then you get home and, your kids just want to play with you. Your wife just wants to talk to you or your husband or, whatever. And it's hard to muster up the rest of that energy to be enthusiastic at that point, and what I would say to that though, trying to put a little bit more of a positive spin on it is this is why we can't look at our accomplishments on a daily basis, right? Because otherwise there would be a lot of days where we just don't feel accomplished. So you try to look back on the week, you try to look back on the month, you try to look back on the year, see where you were and where you are today.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. That's exactly it. Sometimes that day to day, that grind, and Lisa and I, it's funny because Lisa says, I can't leave until I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And, you have those days where it's just like, no matter what you do, it's just like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rolls around. You're like, what did I do today? I'm going home. I don't know. And you get home and like you said, you have wives or husbands or girlfriends or boyfriends. And, and it's like, hey, what's the matter? Everything all right? Yeah, I mean, everything's fine. I just, I had about 7 conversations that didn't really go the way I wanted them to. And I did my best to be that, like you said, that guy, that culture guy. We're trying to build that vision. I try my best to be that guy. I'm not always going to win in these conversations, and it takes a lot out of me, and it takes a lot out of you. And when you're sitting there at the helm, my father used to say, and you heard this before, probably, the fish stinks from the head. And when you're the head, it all comes to you, and we have to absorb it all. And we're dealing with people like that. We're dealing with personalities. We're dealing with emotions, and sometimes people bring their outside stuff into work. And I want, like, John, we talk. You want to be empathetic. You want to be, and it's like, but sometimes you have to say. And my father used to say this too. Hey, Rich, stop crying and put your big boy pants on, okay?
Yeah. I'm not as eloquent, Rich. I wish I was, but you're absolutely right, because empathy, and we hear it all the time, especially today, right? That's all over social media, all the books you read, Gary Vee swears by it, all the influencers swear by it. Empathy. It's all about empathy. And look, they're not wrong. Obviously, it's a good thing to have, but just like we're trying to develop it in others, we're trying to develop it in ourselves at the same time. And it's not just a light switch. And a lot of times that's what it's made out to be, right? Is, be empathetic or don't be empathetic. But no, it's a learning curve, right? This is a skill that needs to be developed. And it's very difficult because, you're battling your own perceptions and opinions when you're talking to somebody else. Like you said, somebody comes in and they've got a poor attitude. The first thing I want to do is say, sack up. What, I mean, really, that's my instinct, right? That's how I was raised. That's just, and that's how I work best. When somebody comes to me and says, hey, sack up, you got shit to do, I do it. I love it. And that's okay. You know what? You're right. I get it. Unfortunately, you can't say that to everybody.
No.
And I've had to find that out the hard way. Right. So, it's tough. And to your point too, right, about going home and, talking to your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or whatever, it's a hard conversation too at that point because they're trying to be empathetic. Right. But anything that you say to them isn't really going to be understood because, like you said, the fish stinks from the head. It's lonely at the top. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Choose your analogy, but it I can talk to you about it, right? Because you're in a similar position as I am, and we can talk to other people in the industry, that are in similar positions. But unless you're in that position of development and you go through these struggles on a daily basis, it's almost like you don't want to burden your significant other with having to listen to you talk about it. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And because that they've had a day too, probably, and they have things going on. It's tough. And that's like the thing here. We're all human beings. Okay. You're a business owner. Okay. You're a senior tech and you're a field manager and you're a district manager, whatever. Like, we're all humans and we're all dealing. And I know I can't curse on LinkedIn, but we're all dealing with shit. We're just all dealing with stuff. We all got problems. We all have these things. Like you say, sack up, man up, put your big boy pants on. And the real world doesn't really care about your tears. And that's true to an extent for all of us. But I think we all want someone to lean on. And for us being at the top, Josh, man, we're the shoulders. We're the ones that people want to lean on. We're the ones that people are going to look to for answers.
And we're also the ones that people want to blame.
We're also the ones that people want to blame. And I was posting about the complaining, so much complaining about things that just don't matter. I understand if we're talking about like big jobs and big money and big, but I'm talking about when you got the little things you're complaining about, like my I don't know, my window in my van's not rolling down yet. Right. Okay, so take it to the guy and get it fixed. Why are you even talking about it? Everyone knows you have a company credit card. You have places you go to. Go get these things fixed. Why are you texting me at 5 a.m. that your window doesn't go down? I know that's probably a problem, but like but that's just one little thing. To put that together, times 15 guys, times 365 days a year, we're complaining about the little things, and I want to be there for the little things as well as the big things. It's tough to find the fine line every single day with each employee because they're all different.
Yeah. Well, and that's the challenge, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what keeps me going is being able to say to myself, "Hey, I might not be there yet, but I can get there. I can be the guy to find the line. I can be the guy to help these people develop, help them be better at their jobs, help them be better in their lives, and that's the rewarding part. So you know not to make this whole episode kind of a downer. It's not. There's definitely some silver linings there, but it is hard. And that's the point I think we need to get across is that you know we jump on these lives and we do our podcasts, we talk about our companies and our successes and even sometimes our failures, but uh, rarely do we talk about how difficult it is. Not to say that we don't want to do it, it's just
Yeah.
difficult. It's just hard, and that's part of it. But the reward once you get it right is really, what we're after. And because at that point, then you're better, then everybody around you is better, then your company is better. And, sure, it will never be perfect, right? And I hear a lot of people say strive for perfection, and there's a lot of truth in that. And there's a lot of truth in striving for progress too. Because it's argued that you might never be perfect. You should strive for it, absolutely, but you should also, reward the progress. Think about the progress, and give yourself a pat on the back. Give your guys a pat on the back for progress.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the perfection thing. Yeah, and we talk about that too. Like we strive for perfection. Maybe we strive for excellence is how I would say it. Maybe too. But it reminds me of that Oscar-winning speech that Matthew McConaughey put on. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's like,
Yeah.
who's your hero? Well, it's me 10 years from now. He's like, in 10 years from now, the guy comes back to me and he goes, hey, man, are you your hero yet? He's like, no, not even close. So who's your hero? Me 10 years from now. He's like, and I know I'm never going to catch that guy, but it gives me someone to keep striving to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the thing, like with business, we're striving to be excellent. We're striving to be the best. And so for a lot of reasons, because, when you're in business, like you said, we're not trying to be a downer here. This is talking reality. Let's talk reality and let's be vulnerable and put ourselves out there. And I encourage more business owners to do it because I think there's misperceptions out there on what goes on behind the scenes. And it doesn't have to just be a service company like Josh and I. It could be any kind of company because we care so much. I think and that's the big thing, entrepreneurship. We care so much about other people. We care so much about our company. We care so much about our people, our family, and we always want to be there for everybody. And when we feel that the culture that we are and the vision that we're not putting forth is being felt throughout the entire organization, it does sting a little, and it takes some mental fortitude to keep moving, to be like, damn, I can't believe you don't feel the love and you don't feel the culture and you don't feel this. How do I change that? How do I change the narrative for this guy and for this girl? It's hard, but we care so deeply.
Yeah, no, that's very well said. And it's true. I think that a lot of it comes from how much we care, right? Look, at the end of the day, our companies are a reflection of us, right? And so I think that especially when you deal with cultural issues and people issues, and part of us knows that that's also a reflection of us, right? We're not doing something right. What is it that we're not doing right? Why can't we get through to this person? Why can't we, fix this situation? And that's where that added pressure and that added stress comes in onto our shoulders because, not only do we have to fix the situation or the person at face value in that particular instance, but then we have to reflect and say, what am I not doing the best that I can possibly do in my organization, to allow this to not happen or prevent this from happening in the future, across other people. Cause it's usually not just one person, right? You've got different people, different instances, different people have different feelings at different times. So it's this carousel of, as much as I hate to say it, emotion, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it very difficult to hone in on what exactly, can fix it. But at the end of the day, if it's a reflection of ourselves, I think that's where the solution lies. We just have to learn and elevate ourselves to figure that out.
We do. let's bring up what Taz said. So Taz, yeah.
Keep an eye on the trend line, not the trend. Life is a road trip. Some days you have to go around a roadblock and you didn't make any progress. But did you stop? No, you had a mile added, but this trip is still progressing.
Yes. The roadblocks of life.
Wisdom.
Taz is always dropping from Arkansas.
Taz, you need to write a book. Just put in all your little nuggets in that book. I'll buy it. I will buy it.
I would too. And anybody else watching has questions or comments, please drop them in the box. And to keep this conversation going a little bit more, working with, we have, I call the lifeblood of our companies, our technicians. I've been in rooms with business owners over the years, and they would say, "Listen, as a business owner, I'm an expense. My technicians are the assets." And my father would say, "You got to take care of your men, son. You got to take care of your men." It's all about the technicians. And this is not to get into, we know we need more. We need more men and women in the trades, but that's another conversation. But these guys are, they all have different personalities. They all have different views. They all have different things with happiness. And an example, talking with a guy recently, not happy. Couldn't give me exactly why. Just not happy with things, and he's gonna figure it out. Where does that stand for me? Because I'm like, I want everyone to be happy here. I want you to, when you get in that van in the morning and you're lacing up your boots and you put on the Maliki Parts and Service cap and shirt and everything, you feel good. I want you to be an advocate out there. I want every single one of my guys to feel the care and the love that I got for them. But how the hell do I do it? And I constantly ask myself this. You put quarterly meetings together. You put one-on-ones together. You put on company parties and company get-togethers, and you still have this disconnect. And it kills me. I feel like this is my life's work to make sure that by the time I die at 99 years old, everybody knows and feels that culture. But damn, is that a friggin' tall mountain to climb?
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement 100%, except for I'm going to live to 117. So
damn it.
That's all right, man. We'll work on it. But you're right. And I think that, here's my problem. All right. In full transparency, I sometimes put too much faith in people, because sometimes you're going to come across somebody who that's just who they are, and you're not going to change their mindset. They're always going to be unhappy with something. And as much as you want to try to develop that and elevate them from it, it's just not going to happen. And at that point, that's when we have to make the tough decisions as business owners, right? But my struggle is that I have so much faith that person can pull themselves out of it. I have so much faith that, just give them a little bit more time. Let me work on them. We'll do this, we'll do that. And sometimes that translates into, raises and accommodations and, different areas of the company and stuff like that, but you got to be careful when you tread down that road, right? Because then it can come off as additional benefits for one person and rewarding a behavior that shouldn't be rewarded.
Yeah.
And so, walking that line in how much faith you have that somebody will change and letting them do it is very real in our business, and actually any business. I shouldn't say our business, it's any business.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what makes it so difficult for me, is that I just, I look around and I'm like, you can be better. You can be better. You can be better. Let's go. Come on, let's go be better.
Yeah.
And, 2 out of 3 times maybe.
Yeah. And it should be that simple. Like we could all just get on the same, how do we get on the same page? And, I look back at, like you said, you look back at the, instead of just the day to day and the accomplishment, you look back. If I go back just like 5 years, sitting in the service manager seat, running the techs and doing the day to day full on to now, my days and my life have changed dramatically with what it is to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, and all that good stuff that comes with it. it's more and it's more of the stuff that we're talking about. And I think people that are maybe starting their business, building their business, and figuring things out, or they're where we are, or they're past where we are, and they're listening like these guys have no idea what's coming, because maybe we don't know what we don't know yet. It's this is the stuff. I think that's going to define us, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're at a place in our businesses and where we're about to be defined over the next several years on who we are and what we're really made of. And it's going to take every ounce of energy and mental toughness day in and day out to see like how far we've come. Okay, cool. Now we're here. And, these people depend on us. And they depend, my father would say, Rich, these people have families. They come in. I can't miss a day. They depend on me. I got to get in there. We got to work. And I have that old school mentality. And I come in every day and I make sure I'm here and I'm doing as much as I can from my position to make sure everybody has what they need. And maybe some of our guys and our people are going to watch this. Like, the door's open. There's nothing we can't figure out. There's always a solution.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm seeing the comments come through here. So I saw Rogers only reward desired behavior. I love that. Love that line. And that's something that I had to learn because I didn't know where the line was between, desired behavior and what could be desired behavior and actually what constitutes as a reward and what doesn't. With so many moving parts in the business, is a lateral move a reward? It could be construed as such. So I love that Roger chimed in with that because there's so much truth to that. And I'm reading Jesus's thing up here too, and wow, how spot on.
Yeah. So just for Josh. So he said, Josh, you cannot please those who are not willing to accept or are tired of their role. People have limits set by their walk of life, and those limits are what would either motivate them or stop them from progressing.
Yep. And you know what? At the end of the day, I can't control that, right? And you can't control that, Rich, and Jesus, you can't control that, and that's what we need to learn to accept too, is the lack of control. And that's something that I've struggled with as well. Not to say that I'm a control freak, I'm not. I fail to find where that line is as to what it is that I can control and what I can't control.
Yeah.
I'm still learning that.
Just from conversations with you, Josh, I know one time we had a conversation, you're like, and it's true, like what you're talking about. I'm not a babysitter, but I'm happy to be a coach.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel like I am too, because I know we talk more than, I talk to you more than I talk to most people in the industry at this point, honestly, and learned a lot from you. And I think we're very closely related in a lot of views and a lot of things we do. And, I'm the same way. Like I'm not the guy that looks over your shoulder. I'm going to put you in, and Lisa, we just had a saying, baptism by fire. We're gonna get you. You're gonna come into this.
Dad says that.
Yeah, see, and she just had that last night. She sent that to me. That was
I was like listening to an astrology podcast randomly, and that's what it said for me. Innovation is something. Innovation comes from baptism by fire.
Yeah, and
jumping in with both feet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's that's it. Like we're not here to stand over you. Like we want you to win.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. At the end of the day, dude, you just hit the nail on the head. We want you to win. We want you to win. And that's it. And that's hard too, because sometimes when we have to have the conversations that we have, it's about making somebody better. It's about putting them in a position to enable them to win, but they don't see it that way. Right? They see it as, you're coming down on me. You don't like me. You think that I'm doing a crap job at what I do. And that's not it. I'm telling you the things that nobody else will, so you can overcome them, and there's a lot to be said about that too. Yeah. But Rich, I'm going to have to jump off here soon. I got a meeting at 9.
Of course. Yeah. No, do your thing, man. I appreciate you jumping on and chopping it up for a little bit. So,
absolutely. Great conversation. A great conversation as always. Thanks to you and to the Fed Nation and to all the awesome viewers and listeners out there. Take care.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh, have a good weekend, man. Thank you.
You guys too. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. What a conversation this morning.
And that was just per chance. It was not planned. whatsoever.
Not planned at all. For those of you still here with us, I mean, Josh and I were just chatting on the phone before we jumped on live, and I said, "Well, listen, I'm about to go jump on live," and he was like, "Hey, man, I got a few minutes. Let's do it." I said, "Oh, okay. What are we talking about?" "I don't know. Let's just jump on and talk."
And that invitation is open to really anybody. If you wanted to jump on a live, just reach out.
Reach out. Let's get you on a live. There's various reasons for you to jump on a live. Okay. First of all, if you're building a brand, we talk about this in Fed Nation, you want to become a thought leader. You become a thought leader by going on to different podcasts and different lives, and it's not just about posting, it's about interacting. So please do that. Become one of your industry's thought leaders. The industry needs you, and on top of that, maybe you have a business and maybe you're trying to promote something right now. We're happy to do that here on this platform. You don't know who's going to see it. We have near 18,000 eyes that are potential to see all this. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a win, 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 win.
Win, 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 win.
And before we end anything, we got to do some squats. We got the.
Oh, we're ending?
No, I'm going to talk a little bit more. I got the kettlebell. I should do some squats. I'm going to go after. See you later.
Well, there you go. You literally are on the right track to make some changes. You were talking about it yesterday, health and wealth. And
Yes.
Here you go. You literally got yourself
health and wealth. Got the kettlebell. We got the little gym here in the warehouse that we put together. And I gotta get my mind right, man, because I'm so excited for what's to come. And talking about, get back to that Matthew McConaughey speech. If you haven't seen that speech, I really love that speech. It gave me chills the first time I heard it.
I don't think
it
I've
still
ever
gives
heard
me
it.
chills now.
I don't think
Should
I've
we
ever
show the
heard it.
people?
This is gonna take me a while to find it.
Why? I can find it in 2 seconds.
Oh my
Listen,
goodness! Keep talking. I'll do it.
No, I'm gonna keep talking. We're gonna show the people.
You realize that it's a lot easier for me to do this.
No, it's not.
No? Okay. Well, keep talking. You're dead air now.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, you.
See? Told you.
She was right again, ladies and gentlemen. My mom is always right, and Lisa is always right. You gotta listen to the ladies in your life, people. So we'll let Lisa pull that up for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's yeah.
Winning Best Actor this one?
That's the one.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Why are you laughing? What if I can't share the... I'm not sure if I can share the sound. That didn't work last time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
We'll try. How about we just share the link later with people?
We'll share the link later with people. Even though it would have been nice to have it to motivate people this fine Friday morning. That's all good. So guys, listen, we had a great conversation with Josh, and just to continue on a little bit, Terry Kelly, I appreciate you. Me and Terry chopped it up a little bit on a Fed chat, which we're going to be bringing back, by the way. Fed chats for the summer. If you want to be on a Fed chat, let me know. We'll get you scheduled. We'll talk about the industry. We'll talk about the business. We'll talk about the world opening up. We'll talk about supply chain, logistics problems. We'll talk about all the stuff that's going down that are just craziness.
And if you don't know, Fed chats are done through Zoom and recorded and chopped up for video.
Fed chats were filmed before a live studio audience.
Yes. No.
So just to continue on a little bit with the conversation about Josh and I had, I used to sit in this office many, many years ago, coming out of high school with my dad, going through the motions of college, which I hated. And, just sitting here watching my dad and seeing what he's done to build this thing, and sitting next to him as he's running the service desk and listening to him and seeing his interactions and going to shows and conferences with him and seeing and I used to sit there and tell him, because he used to say, "Rich, I'm building this for you." And I used to sit there and say to myself, how the hell am I supposed to do what he does? I could never fill those shoes. Like, I'm not going to be smart enough. I'm not going to be strong enough. I'm not going to be stern enough. I'm not going to be powerful enough to make the statements that he makes and do the things he does. And I didn't even know if I wanted that, to be honest. I had no idea if this is what I wanted. I went off and I worked at Aeropostale. I worked at Guess in the mall. I was a telemarketer. I did stupid little odd job. I did stupid things. I went out and just tried a bunch of different stuff which I didn't want to do any of that either. It's hard figuring out what you want. But growing up in a family business and having those expectations that you're going to take it over, it's a lot. Because your dad's expecting it. Your mom, you got my mom over here. Your father wants this for you, and I got my little sister watching every move I make, mimicking everything I do. Still to this day, 32 years old, she still mimics everything I do. And I fast forward some years, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in the service manager seat, and I find myself just doing it, and it's just happening, and baptism by fire.
Yep.
And I'm just doing it, and I'm like, wow, maybe I can do this. Still having plenty of doubts in my head, because I'm human. Don't be fooled by people that are out there on social media acting like they're the most confident. They're lions, and they have doubt too. I believe they have doubt too, because we're human beings and we doubt ourselves sometimes, and we have fear. No fear. We have fear. Now, overcoming those fears and just facing them, that's a different story. Not everybody can do that. That's what separates this side of the road from that side of the road, going through it. And I still, to this day, have doubts. I'm still not sure of everything that I'm doing, if I'm making all the right decisions. I don't know. The things I do today are going to affect what happens tomorrow and the next day. Are they all right? Probably not. And I know that. But damn, this is just a heavy conversation for people not understanding what goes on behind the scenes and what businesses and business owners are actually really feeling and thinking and doing. We're people, and we're trying to lead people. And when you're doing that, damn, does doubt come into mind, and you've got to figure stuff out on the fly. You got to make snap decisions, and you're trying to do all this with the thought of every decision I make affects the team. So, and that's, by the way, that's not just me, because honestly, this industry, this service company especially, is so built on what this technician does affects the next person, and all our decisions daily kind of affect the next person. Whether we have talk disrespectfully to somebody, to a customer, to an employee. All these things, they accumulate. And as business owners, I'm going to end it very shortly here, but as business owners, we want to build a strong culture, and we want people to feel the love, and we want people to feel the care, and to know that I don't want this to be just a business. I know when you peel it back, it's just a business. We're just a business. Come in and go to work and shut up, right? Let's just all shut up and go to work. But businesses, especially in 2021, are so much more in my eyes. We have to be more. Look at all the mental health problems, all these different things. We, as business owners, I feel have an obligation to give employees that choose to come and work here, give them the best environment and the best chance for success. And that is what's hard when people don't feel it or see it. And I'm not complaining, and I'm not crying about it. It's a challenge, and I love the challenge. And I'm going to sit here, and 20 years from now, I'm probably going to be saying the same conversation, whether I have 15 or 16 techs or 60 or 70 techs. I'm going to have the same conversation, because it's going to continue. It's forever. You never made it. Oh, I made it. No, I've never made it. You'll never make it. You got to keep going every single year. So, to the business owners, to the entrepreneurs, to the strong teams out there working for these businesses and entrepreneurs, keep your head up, keep working hard, keep seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. People are there. There's always a solution around the bend. Talk about it, communicate. I got love for all of you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful Friday. Lisa, have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.